look. Okay. Marion, Jody, would you like to go first? Maybe you've been here a little bit longer with us, and so if you'd like to give your insight, and then Marion, I'll give the floor to her.
Sure. Well, welcome to Field Notes. It really is a good CRM, and they just constantly like these meetings and stuff. So they're open to suggestions, and it's just really great. And as we grow in our business, so are they. And they've just been very, they're extremely patient. I'm a non-tech person, so it's just really really a great thing to have. But what I use mine for, I'm learning. This is like my first CRM ever, so I know like others use it for more things that I use for, and I'll grow into that. But a lot of it I use for emails, and to be able to track what's being opened, and then just having really like that list. And I am going to be, I guess, transitioning to do my emails over to the SMS part. So people will be getting text messages. And that's something that I am working, that I will be working on soon, because as Jeremy pointed out, like 20% of people only open up their emails, whereas
Messages are
80% open, like, read their texts. So, and that's something that I definitely want to utilize, because I don't want to be sitting there putting in all this work for only 20% people to pay attention to it. So, and then also just, the reminders of, they have a list that comes out, a weekly and a daily list, so that I'm doing Legal Shield, just a FYI, like I'm doing Legal Shield on a part-time basis. I have an existing business that I'm transitioning out of, and I'm also a part-time, full-time live-in, part-time caretaker for my mom who's borderline dementia. So I get into Field Notes when I can, and it's a work in progress, but I just really love it because of it's built for us. And
we
yeah,
try.
yeah,
We try.
yeah, yeah.
But really, she's right when it comes to building it for you guys. Like with these meetings, we discuss a lot of the functionalities, the new things that come out, any errors, any little hiccups, we try to iron out. And I have made it my job to focus on you guys as a whole and try to just get this program, and a level in which you guys just love. And then the functionality, make it easy for you guys, not too complicated. And so I also have been learning Legal Shield, right? So I'm not an associate yet, nor do I have a program. Being in Costa Rica, it's kind of hard to utilize some of the services, but I'm still learning, and so I love sitting down with you guys and really understanding your job, because the more I understand what you guys go through, I can help, right? I can just help this system. And so yeah, we really work to make this something great. Marion, would you share some of the reasons why you have came on? Like, what are the jobs are you looking Field Notes to help you with?
Well, I just started last week. I have had several of my friends in Legal Shield say to me, you should be using this. I was previously using a CRM that just wouldn't connect with anything, and it was starting to really drive me crazy just to have to put data in 3 different times. And so I decided I would have a look at it a week ago, and decided maybe this would help, because it is more Legal Shield oriented, and yet it's not a huge cost, which is I think also especially for some of us that are I'm still working, I guess working part-time. I've just decided I'm going to get really back into Legal Shield. And so I need something that I can start with. I do have a little bit of understanding of computers and apps, but this is a whole new mind-blowing thing for me. So I'm just looking to track right now my customers, my prospects, and to have it remind me the follow-up is so important, and I keep dropping the ball on the follow-up because I don't get those reminders that, hello, you need to do this. So it's I think it's going to be very helpful. I'm still I guess testing, and of course I have tons of questions for Jeremy and my thing is play. I want to play with it for a bit, see what it does, although I have already uploaded my contacts and that was easy. Uploading your contacts, if you have them in a spreadsheet or something like that, it was easy peasy. I was surprised how fast it went in. I had to make a couple of adjustments or a couple of fixes. Other than that, I wasn't pulling my hair out at all. So if everything else is that easy, then I'm okay.
Well, I hope it continues to be easy, right? I think the challenge it gets when you have a really large book of clients. That's where manipulating 1,000, a couple thousand turns into, a different job. If you have something small within 500, I would say it's a lot easier to deal with just because it's less people that you have to deal with. But the program, works for both at the end of the day, people with a large book, people with a small book. And so it really just kind of, caters to you. We've got a couple of other people that have joined us. Gary, I want to say hello to Gary, Patty. We've got 2 new people, Marion, and we have Wayne. Wayne, sorry about that.
That's
and
okay.
Wayne is with us, and so we were just sharing some feedback. Jody, you, Gary, I don't know if you would like to say anything. Since today's a holiday, I didn't have a chance to turn off or to reset up the day. So I figured, you know what, just show up, see who shows up. You guys are always faithful. So Gary, do you maybe have any words of encouragement as to what you're using the system for and how it's, I guess, been a benefit overall?
Sure. Just real quickly, I do some group business and I do some recruiting and sales. So really what I'm using, and I've been using it for a while and I'm still constantly learning. It's a powerful system, but what I like to do is I like to create notes for all my contacts and use campaigns and templates to communicate with my clients. That's been the biggest benefit for me. Because when I open up a client, I can automatically see when I talked to them last, what I spoke to them about, what the action item is for this communication talk. That's mostly what I'm using the system for right now, and it's been very useful for me.
Patty, if you want to share some things, you're welcome to do so. I don't want to skip over you.
Yes. The reality is that this is a great tool if you use it. If you'll spend the time bumping up against the edges, figuring out how to do, don't worry about breaking it because Jeremy's there. There's all the staff that are there ready to catch you when you mess up. And I haven't broken anything irreparably yet. And that has been just that relief. Okay, I can't sleep tonight, so I'm going to spend a few minutes and see if I can set up this new template. And whoops, it didn't go out right. So I send a little note out to the people who got it and say, I hope you'll excuse me, and people love it when you recognize your own shortcomings and makes you more human to them. So I don't worry about that. And I know I've got the backup, somebody to help when I don't quite understand something. And every once in a while, when you don't understand something, somebody else doesn't understand it either, and we get to help each other out.
That's true. The community you guys have created has been a wealth of support, not only for myself, right? Because the more I can understand what you guys have to go through, and I can try to alleviate, get with the developers and help them build this so that it, you guys don't have to experience any kind of headaches. But yeah, so we really do focus on that. In the support, you have a chat button. I don't know if you see this, but this is a means of getting straight to me or our support team. So with your questions, you'll be able to log in. You just put in your email, you put in the question, and of course it rings at my desk, and then I just can hop in. If we need to do a session like this, Zoom, so that we can see each other's screen and I can show you, kind of make it more interactive, definitely I'm going to do that, because the more horses I can lead to water, the better it's going to be for everybody, right? And so that's kind of like my style. But at the end of the day, email, my phone number or our phone number, you can definitely call us in and just, you'll have access to support, which is, I've heard, something that other companies lack on tremendously. And so that's something that if it's a highlight, I would say definitely take a look at that. But Wynn, what
Yes.
are you looking for in the CRM right now, like managing your clients? Is it strictly communication? Is it for prospecting? Is it for follow-up? What are you looking for?
Somewhere to put all of my information
Okay.
and to use for follow-up and mainly for follow-up, a place to, a CRM where I can do follow-up. I also, Jody said what she said. My husband is diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, so I'm his caregiver. And
Wow.
my mother's caregiver, and I'm
Amen.
trying to shift my business, because usually I focused on small business owners, going to see them, where I have a couple of large groups that my husband can still go with me. He just has a hard time walking. He's fine with long-term memory, but he goes with me on a couple of those. So my thought was, and I'm the worst at emailing. I mean, I admit it. And so I'm
You could
hoping to
use
work with,
something. You could use something to
yeah,
help you with staying up on top of your clients and emailing them and that kind of stuff. Okay.
yes. So
Well, I didn't know we had so much in common. So when I was I think I was 19 years, the family kind of said, "Hey, Jeremy, why don't you go to Costa Rica and why don't you look after your grandpa?" And little did I know I was walking myself into a caregiving kind of situation. And I think we did it for like 10 years and my wife. And so I don't know. I mean, it's a difficult thing, but when it's for somebody that you love, it's just like I never had like a I mean, I had difficult days. Like sometimes
yeah,
he would pour his little pee bucket on me right before going to work. Like, hey, thanks, Grandpa. I just
yeah,
I just needed another shower right before to go to work and change my clothes up. But um and some of the experiences dealing with the medical doctors and all that is just, it was a hoot. I tried to look at the comedy side of it and try to get the good out of, being diagnosed with cancer and having to go through all the surgeries and the pain that he felt, and Parkinson's and all that kind of stuff. And so, but when there are people you do it for love, it's not a job. And so I definitely take my hat off to you guys doing what you guys got to do. And so um, now with that said, so this is manage contacts. This is a place in which you will be able to keep all of your contacts, and there is no limit to how many contacts you have. So that's the good thing. I can show you, let's look at a contact just to kind of give you some context. So this is a quick view. Here, based on everything that you've uploaded with the contact, you'll have it at your view. So if you wanted to call from here, follow up with people, you'll see that these are some of his plans. This is a large group category, in which in a minute I'll show you what that's all about. But you can keep group number, referral source, which is important, where you find these people, right? So then if you have a lead source, or if you have a specific method in how you found that, you'll be able to track this. So that's kind of good to kind of, know where to put your money if it's something that you're paying for leads, or continue to do this, right? So that you can continue to generate. And then with the referral source, you obviously can see that kind of things, because you can do filters through all of these categories, right? So
Yeah.
that also helps you kind of do sourcing. If you have a huge database of information that you've collected over the years, you'll be able to go into it. And if you categorize companies, if you use specific spheres or plans chosen so that these tags are affiliated, you can then search through these and then have these groups. Or if you put in addresses, you can go through zip codes if you're looking at a specific zip code, things like that, right? With this quick view, it gives you access to everything. So if you needed to edit the contact, you could do a quick little edit from here. We also have the timeline button. So you'll see what communications are going out the moment that the person was added, and basically every activity that has happened with this individual. So emails and texts and appointments all will be here so that you can basically stay on top of it. Notes is another thing. It's separate. So here you'll be able to record whether if it was an email that you sent to the individual, text messaging, phone calls, meeting. You can add files. So if it's something that I sent somebody a contract and I want to add it to the system so that you could reference it later, this is a place where you can add things, and then you can save the notes, and then you can view the notes. So that's a good thing when it comes to following up and just staying on top. I like the quick view because with the quick view, if you really use the contact form in a smart way, which means just try to get as much information into it as possible, you'll have everything at a glance. You really don't need to go look for anything. If you needed to get into somebody's notes with a click, you could, but then you could go right back to the context of the contact sheet and just be able to recall information, which people, I feel, the more you can recall about them and the more information you have about them, the more they'll take you serious. So this is always a good thing. These contacts can be used for individuals and they can be used for people. So you see how we have first name here. Let me kind of zoom it up in there for you. First name or group name. So this contact form works for both. You can have the company here. And with that, you can also have the salutation. So this can be the company name. And then this would be either the full name of the individual, and then you can put that person's name there. You can record who the primary contact is. Also, there is some more categories here. So you could use it for the spouse's name, but if it's for a company contact, you can use authorizing officer. Just use it and so that you can gather as much as information about the account. We've got a bunch of new data fields to capture these. As of a couple weeks ago, we're not here. So we're trying to align ourselves as much as possible so that importing data is just, back and forth and it's not a problem. These are the spheres and the plans chosen. Essentially, these are like when you look at a Girl Scout, she's got her sash. These are where you can basically add these buttons to her, save them. Also with the spheres, same concept, just a different level. So if you wanted to keep plans chosen separate, but you could also put a lot of different things such as month. I have somebody that records different job titles, a bunch of information in those fields so that she can associate it to contacts so that she can immediately kind of access that information. So